Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'd like to call the April 9th special meeting of the Police and the Fire Commission to order. First item we'll do is a roll call. Vice President Nancy Schaaf,
Present.
Commissioner Marion Boyle-Roloff,
Here.
and I'm President Rod Goldhahn. I'm here. We're still waiting for Commissioner Warren Wanizek, but we do expect him to arrive, and I'll make notice of that when he does arrive. Also in the room is Attorney Jim Colney, representing the commission. Melanie Falk is the Green Bay HR support for the commission. And we have Mike, our technical resource from IT, here to help make sure the electronics flow as we expect. So Kyle and Bill, will you please each identify yourselves for the record, and if there's anyone else with you on the calls. First, Attorney Retko.
Morning, this is Attorney Bill Retko, and I'm here on behalf of Paul Sparrow, and I'm on the phone by myself. And Attorney Kyle Gullia, I'm here on behalf of the City of Green Bay, Chief of Police Andrew Smith, and I'm also on the call by myself.
Okay, and just I'll note also for the record, we have no press or no observers in the room, so all the names you heard include everyone that's here. Also want to confirm that these proceedings are being both audio and video recorded as is standard on our PFC meetings, so we are not having a court reporter. And just for the record, I'll also note this hearing is an open meeting, and due to the nature of these proceedings, there may be times when the commission will entertain motions to go into closed session as allowed by Wisconsin statutes. When that occurs, I'll read the closed session notice, conduct the vote, and we may go into closed session. We will then come back into open session to continue with the balance of the agenda. So we're convening now pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 62.13, paragraph 5, sub B and D, to set the matter for hearing. I'd like to review the status of actions to date. Chief Smith delivered charges to me concerning Officer Sporl on 3/14 of this year. Attorney John Cermelli accepted service of charges on behalf of Officer Sporl on 3/22 of this year. On 3/26, Attorney Cermelli informed me via email that he would no longer be counsel for Officer Sporl. He further informed me that Attorney Bill Retko of Retko Law Offices would be representing Officer Sporl. Then on 3/28 of this year, a phone conference pursuant to PFC Rule 1.07 was held with Attorney Kyle Gullia representing Chief Smith, Attorney Bill Retko representing Officer Sporl, Attorney Jim Colney representing the commission, and myself to begin the scheduling process. A scheduling order was provided to the parties later that day. And also I know that on or before April 6th, Attorney Gullia provided Attorney Retko with witness and exhibit lists as well as other discovery materials and documents. Does that capture everything that you gentlemen agree that we've done to date?
Correct. The only other aspect is that there's a flash drive that I think is being sent to Attorney Retko just because of the file size of some documents that were transmitted to him, which he'll probably receive either today or may have already received over the weekend via mail.
Okay. And then documents to be received in the record of these proceedings to date include the statement of charges in the matter of Officer Sporl, confirmation of service of charges, notices of respective representations by Attorneys Retko and Gullia, the 3/28 scheduling order, and the 4/9 notice of hearing. Is that acceptable to you gentlemen of the official documents that we have on the record to date?
Would the submission of the exhibit list and witness list be part of the record?
Yes, they will. I assume that we would make those part of the official record at the actual hearing.
That's fine.
All right?
I'm fine with that too.
Okay? All right.
We should note that they have already been delivered, though, at this point in time, that Mr. Gullia has filed his list of witnesses and list of exhibits. And we will be discussing a date for the remainder to be filed.
All right. So the next items, and I'm going to list the items that we're going to discuss, and then we'll go back and do them one at a time. We're going to discuss a date for the submission of the respondent witness and exhibit lists by Attorney Retko, motion dates and any related briefings if either party is planning to file motions, Setting the actual hearing dates, per our previous discussion, we think at least 2 days are going to be needed due to the number of exhibits, or the length of the exhibits, and then submission dates for the stipulation between the parties and whether any subpoenas may be needed. So, moving back up, submission dates for the respondent, witness, and exhibit list by Attorney Retko. So, Bill, when do you think you may be able to have those available?
I'm going to be shooting for April 30th. If that works for everyone else.
Okay. Kyle, any issues with that?
All depends on when the hearing date is.
Okay, all right.
That's fine. It's fine with me. Depending on when the hearing date is.
Okay, that's fine, we'll do that. Does either party expect to be filing any motions or related briefs to, and related briefs to those motions?
From Chief Smith's standpoint, no. The only aspects that I want to cover with Attorney Retko are simply, and I don't think most of this would be an issue, but there are some documents where the exhibit itself may be large, and I'd like to pare that down with his concurrence on that. And if there's information on there, for example, Officer Sporl's home address, things of that nature, that with the documents that are submitted at the hearing, to submit those with the redactions of that type of information, just because it's not relevant to the proceedings at all. And I would like the ability to work with Attorney Retko on that, so I don't foresee that there would need to be any sort of motions or anything to that effect. That process should work itself through.
And that would come to us by way of stipulation then, Kyle?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think some of it we have to be careful about releasing as a public record. Addresses, things like that, of some of the witnesses, I don't think we should be releasing. So I'd strongly encourage you folks to work that out.
Okay, now we're at the point of making hearing dates. Gentlemen, if you can bear with me for a minute, the last commissioner is not here. I'm going to try to reach his assistant and perhaps have her call in on the call, since she manages his schedule. And everybody do that, if okay? All right, I'll try to get her on here, and then This is Rob Goldman, President of the Police and Fire Commission. We were expecting Warren at a meeting this morning, and he has not arrived. That'd be wonderful. Thank you. Hi, Rachel, this is Rod Goldman. You seem to have lost Warren. Or another option here, we're at the point where we're trying to schedule some hearing dates. If you have time right now, I could hand you to our IT person, who could give you the call-in number. If you could call in and with Warren's, and then you just manage the dates. Okay, the number to call into is 1-866-899-4679. And once you're in, the access code will be 173-210-509. All right, thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Mr. Goya, to keep things moving here a little bit, how much time do you anticipate you'll need after receiving the witness list and exhibit list to be prepared to go to hearing or file motions?
As I indicated, I don't envision any motions right now. I don't envision that there's going to be a tremendous amount of new information either. So if we're looking at anywhere from 7 to 10 days after the submission of the exhibit and witness list, that would be, I think, sufficient during that time period. Obviously, we're going to be presenting first anyways, so that's going to take up the 2 days, if not most of the 2 days, from that standpoint as well. So I think 7 to 10 is certainly appropriate if that works.
Okay. And Mr. Retko, we didn't really hear from you. Are you planning on filing any motions at this point in time?
I don't believe so. I will say that the 7 to 10 days is fine as long as we do it on May 7th and 8th. The 9th, 10th, and 11th, I'm already booked with other matters and couldn't fit it in at that time. But the following week, other than the 17th, that Thursday is pretty open for me.
Okay, hopefully Commissioner Wanzek's assistant will be calling in any minute, and we can...
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Rachel, this is an open Police and Fire Commission meeting. We have attorneys Kyle Gulia and Bill Rutko on the line as well, and we're attempting to set up 2 days for hearings for the Sporl matter.
Okay.
So as I heard there...
I have his calendar here.
oh,
So
okay.
here's something about May 17th, and that works on Warren's calendar.
Oh, no, May 17th is the day I can't do it.
Okay.
Anything else that week is fine, the 14th, 15th, 16th, even the 18th.
The 14th or 16th works for Warren.
We'll probably need 2 consecutive days. Ideally, gentlemen, ideally consecutive days would be better in your mind too?
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like the 15 is out, Rachel, for Warren?
Yeah, he's got all-day hearing that day.
I do as well.
Yeah, that'd be out for us too. I will be gone virtually the whole month of May, so Bob Burns of my office will probably be handling the hearing.
With the 17th and 18th work for folks?
The 17th doesn't work for me,
Oh,
but
that's
the
right.
18th is fine.
Okay.
I have matters scheduled on both dates.
Now earlier, I think, Bill, you said the 7th and 8th would work?
7th and 8th works for me.
Does not work for Warren.
Okay, with the,
Yeah.
That might be a good motion date, though.
go ahead, Rachel.
And then you can't do the 7th, and he's got something in the middle of the day on the 8th.
Okay, if we set the 7th for the motion dates,
Yeah, the deadline for filing motions, that be sufficient for you, Bill?
Yes.
I thought I heard
And
Kyle
Warren
say
is
that.
unavailable on the 7th.
okay.
But that'd just be a deadline date then.
Yeah, but if we, and you said he had something on the 9th and 10th?
The 9th and
He's
10th
not
I'm
available
out.
not available those days either.
Okay. All right, so we're in the week of the 21st, if we try to get 2 consecutive.
Well, I might be getting back.
21st and
That
20...
week's not very good for him, he's got most of it crossed out already too.
At the beginning of May, or is it too early?
I think that might be too early. We want to get time in case there's motions.
Yeah. And Attorney Redco has a jury trial this month, so he won't be able to put any time in it. We want to give him sufficient time. Let's see. 28th is Memorial Day. 29th, 30th, 31st?
30th, we have those fire
Those all work
department
for me.
meetings.
And those days, excuse me, would work for Warren.
I know that I have a conflict with with one of my folks for that date, or excuse me, for that week, for the 30th, 31st, excuse me, for the 29th, 30th, 31st, and 1st, which would make that difficult for us on our side.
Okay. No, they're not consecutive, Friday and a Monday? Remind me, was the 21st available?
The 21st, 22nd, and 23rd work for us.
When is the 21st available?
So could we do the 18th and the 21st? That's a Friday and a Monday. It's not ideal, but given the difficulty in finding 2 days adjacent.
Yeah, I have another matter scheduled in the southern part of the state on the 18th.
Okay.
Are we talking June or May? I'm sorry.
We're still talking May.
May, okay.
Yeah.
Probably two. We haven't gone to 19.
I'm starting to feel incredibly
Well,
flexible looking at you guys.
Are you all right?
What about May 11th and I think the 14th worked for folks?
I think the 11th, I'm already booked. So
Okay.
the 11th is out for me. The 14th did work. 15th, 16th work.
The 15th did not work for Warren.
Yeah.
How about the 5th and 6th of June?
5th is not good for me, but the 6th is good.
The 6th works.
6th, 7th, and 8th are fine for us.
Well, 6 and 7.
Same with me.
6th and 7th?
6th and 7th? Let's take the 8th too while they're all safe.
Okay.
And just in case we
Yeah,
need it,
yeah.
because we might need an adjournment
So
date.
should we block off June 6th through 8th?
Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, very good. I think that is it for, Rachel, that is it for anything we'll need Warren's schedule for.
Okay, perfect.
So thank you so much for pinch hitting for him.
Sure, no problem.
All right, we'll make him take you to dinner.
Thanks.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, thank you, bye now.
Bye-bye.
And then we had, the only remaining item for scheduling was date of stipulation between the parties. Should we say, since we have the 7th, is any motion deadlines?
Let's go with the 11th.
May 11th?
Yeah, it's a Friday. That would be their motion date. We would expect all motions to be filed with a brief. We'll schedule a response date. The president will upon receipt of
Okay.
any motions. And if we do everything by the 11th, if you guys can have the stipulation done by the 11th too, we'll just put all that in the order, that being kind of cutoff date. Does that work for you
Is that
guys?
satisfactory for you gentlemen?
Looking at, I just want to make certain I understand the timeline. If there are any motions to be filed, they're due by May 7th. And then a response timeline will be set for those motions. And any stipulations as to the charges or exhibits would be by May 11th. And I assume the commission would receive any stipulations after that effect as well, but certainly that seems fine for us. I just want to make certain that if there are, for example, motions that are filed on May 7th, that if there's a responsive timeline, that we have a reasonable period of time there. Certainly if somebody is sitting on a motion for a month, and then giving the other side 4 days to respond, I don't know if that's what if that's the intention or if there's something else.
No, actually,
No,
oh, go on.
yeah, no, we would not do that.
Very good. I know you in the past have been very fair with timelines, so that's fine for us.
Just to make it simpler, I would suggest that we do the motion date for May 11 and the stipulation date for May 11. And just to keep it the same date. And then, yes, if a motion is filed, we will immediately schedule something for response date. And if any hearing is necessary, we'll deal with it.
Good.
That sounds fine.
All right, do either of you envision needing any subpoenas?
I may need up to 4, and I will contact Attorney Cownley to have those subpoenas signed by the president of the commission. I presume that you would prefer that we just draft the subpoena, send it over for signature?
You betcha.
And then, per the commission's rules, we would take care of service of our own subpoenas.
All right. Okay, any other,
As it pertains,
sure, go ahead.
a couple of things as it pertains to the hearing. We have potentially, potentially one witness that we'd like to have testify telephonically, and we need to coordinate with his schedule. If for some reason June 6th, 7th, and 8th were completely unavailable for that individual, they were scheduled to be out of the country, something of that nature, I would like the opportunity to have that person testify either at an earlier time or a later time if possible, and that opportunity be set. And obviously there may be other witnesses that are called that we'd want to be respectful of their schedules. But that is one of those aspects there with the telephonic witness. We'll try to get that coordinated as soon as possible now that we know the hearing dates and everything. But just wanted to relay that concern.
Okay, what I suggest is that we wait until you know for certain, and then if a problem does exist, perhaps the two of you, Attorney Colony and I, can get together and look at options to satisfy that.
Very good.
Okay, is that all right with, okay, very good. Any other outstanding issues from either party?
Not from my end.
None.
Okay, then we will send out a schedule order following the conclusion of the meeting, and then we'll proceed from there.
Very good.
Commissioner?
Thank you, folks.
Ready?
All right, thank you. I don't see any other need for you gentlemen, so thank you and have a great week.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
So let's officially adjourn the matter.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any need to go into closed session to have a discussion with you?
No,
With you, Renee, as
I
well?
don't think
All right.
at this point.
Then is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Boyle Roloff, second by Commissioner Schaaf.
And we actually should adjourn the hearing to, because this is actually the hearing,
Okay,
to June 6 and 7,
okay,
or any prior date that may be scheduled for motions.
okay. So amend your motion to adjourn to, we'll adjourn to June 6th,
So moved.
unless any change the current.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is adjourned.